Clara Hayes had always been the dependable one. In her corporate office, she was the woman everyone leaned on. The one who stayed late, fixed other people's mistakes, and never complained. She thought loyalty and hard work would carry her to the top. But in the world she lived in, loyalty was a weakness and kindness was a weapon others used against her. For 5 long years, Clara worked under Melissa Turner, a woman who smiled in meetings and stabbed in private. Melissa wasn't just Clara's boss. She was her obstacle, her tormentor, and, eventually, her betrayer. The betrayal, it happened on a rainy Friday evening. Clara had just finished a presentation she had spent 3 weeks perfecting. It was her chance, finally, to prove herself for the big promotion. She rehearsed every slide, every word, her heart pounding with ambition. But when the moment came, Melissa walked into the boardroom, clicked the projector, and presented Clara's work as her own. She didn't stutter. She didn't hesitate. She even used Clara's exact phrases. The room filled with applause. Clara sat there frozen, forced to smile as if proud of her boss, while inside her blood boiled. By Monday, Melissa had been promoted. Clara was given a hollow thank you email for her contributions. That was the moment Clara knew she would never get justice if she played by the rules. The plan. Clara wasn't impulsive. Revenge, she believed, was like chess. It required patience, precision, and silence. She didn't scream or argue. She congratulated Melissa with fake enthusiasm, smiled in meetings, and continued her work as if nothing had happened. But secretly, she began collecting every email Melissa sent. Clara saved every harsh word, every careless instruction, every unethical shortcut Melissa forced on the team. Clara documented it all. Late at night, she built a private folder of evidence. Slowly, meticulously, she constructed a picture of Melissa that no one had ever seen. Clara also began studying her. Melissa had weaknesses: greed, vanity, and carelessness. She loved the spotlight, but she hated detail. That would be her downfall. The execution. 6 months later, Melissa was thriving in her new position. She boasted about her visionary ideas at conferences, posting selfies with executives, pretending to be the genius behind every success. Meanwhile, Clara quietly pulled the strings. She began sending anonymous tips to the company's compliance department. Small things at first: misused budgets, inflated reports, subtle breaches of policy. Then bigger things: fabricated numbers, false achievements. She timed each revelation carefully, just enough to raise suspicion, but not enough to trace back to her. Melissa didn't notice. She was too busy climbing higher, accepting interviews, and chasing recognition. The breaking point came when Clara anonymously submitted the folder of evidence to both the company's board and a trusted journalist. It wasn't just proof of Melissa's lies, it was a story of corruption, deception, and stolen credit. The headline appeared on a Monday morning like thunder: "Executive under fire for fraud and plagiarism. Who really deserves the credit?" The fall. The office turned into chaos. Melissa stormed in with her usual arrogance, but now the smiles had vanished. The executives questioned her. Her emails were scrutinized. The people she had belittled for years refused to defend her. By Friday, Melissa was escorted out of the building with a box in her hands, her career shattered, her reputation gone. Clara didn't gloat. She didn't need to. Watching Melissa's name disappear from the company walls was enough. She had won. By being silent, by being patient. By letting Melissa destroy herself. With her own greed. The rise. A month later, Clara was called into the boardroom. Not for punishment, not for blame, but for recognition. The truth had come out. The ideas Melissa had stolen. The projects she had claimed. They all belonged to Clara. She was promoted, not just as a replacement, but as a symbol of integrity the company desperately needed after the scandal. When Clara took her new office, she placed one single framed quote on her desk. Sometimes silence is the loudest revenge. And every time she glanced at it, she smiled. Not out of bitterness, but out of satisfaction. She hadn't shouted. She hadn't fought. She had simply waited. And in the end, justice had spoken. Louder than Melissa ever could.